Omar. The top headlines include Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud says progress has been made in the fight against Al-Shabaab and seeks more U.S. support. Shabelle State President has met members of the parliament in Mogadishu to discuss the war against Al-Shabaab in his region. Somali military seized the control of strategic locations in Hiran region in central Somalia. Welcome back to the news in detail. Somali President His Excellency Hassan Sheikh Mohamud has said his country is seeking more gains in the fight against Al-Shabaab, the Al-Qaeda-linked militant group fighting to oust the UN-backed Somali government in Mogadishu. The remarks of the president comes amid clashes in central Somalia between the National Army supported by pro-government local militiamen in Hiran region. We see a strong momentum against Al-Shabaab, and we want to sustain it to defeat the group that has proven to be remorseful and like the mafia, which has attained economic autonomy through intimidation, murder and innocent people, said Somali president. In a speech to the Somali diaspora community in Washington, D.C., the U.S. area on Friday, he said his government is organizing a strong military front in southern Shabelle state of Somalia. There is ongoing preparation to liberate Al-Shabaab from the Middle Shabelle region in southern Somalia, the only region in the country where the militants control its entirety, he said. The president said his new government's approach is being encouraged by resistance of the local clan militia who keep the fighting against Al-Shabaab in central Somali regions of Iran and Galgaduud. Once they could not tolerate the intimidation, the extortion and the education of the children, now some local clans say they have started fighting against Al-Shabaab. Therefore, we want to support our people to live in peace, dignity, he said, President. On Saturday, hours after the president's speech in U.S. state of Virginia, the Somali National Army said they killed 43 militants in central Somalia. The Somali National Army launched an offensive on the Al-Shabaab base in Apore village and took over the militant base, killing 43 militants. Brigadier General Mohammed Tahlil Bihi, infantry commander of the Somali National Army, told the state media. Apore is located 25 kilometers east of Bulaburti, a town 220 kilometers north of the Somali capital Mogadishu. On Saturday, speaking to the government news agency SONA, Somali National Army Chief General Odawa Yusuf Rage said the SNA killed at least 18 Al-Shabaab militants in operation in Buk Aqable area in the same Hiran region, located 90 kilometers south of Beledweyne city, the provincial capital of Hiran region. Somali military announced they have killed at least 43 Al-Shabaab fighters during an operation in Abore village located in central Hiran region. SNS said that several units descended on the rural areas of Abore, Salagate in May after receiving credible information that dozens of militants were based in the area. The operation carried out by the army in the area of Apore, which located 25 kilometers east from Bulaburde district in Iran region, where about 50 conspirators of the terrorism were killed. According to the statement released by Somali military, SNS said that suspected Al-Shabaab member Mohammed Nasser El-Kaasi was among the dead. MP Malik Abdullah, who is a member of Somali Federal Parliament, has accompanied the SNS soldiers during the operation in his constituency, and he said local residents welcomed the operations by the Somali military. I'm grateful that the people of Apore responded to the President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud's call to eliminate the enemy. Your government will continue to back you up, and I'm grateful that this district, which had been held hostage by 13 years by Al-Shabaab, was liberated finally today from the enemy of Al-Shabaab terrorists. Somalia will triumph. God is great, he said. On Friday, the SNA dismissed reports that members from the elite US-trained Danab Commando unit were ambushed and killed by Al-Shabaab militants as baseless and propaganda tactics. Somali government says it will leave no stone unturned to liberate the country from Al-Shabaab within the next year. Somali officials have issued urgent call for humanitarian aid as the drought crisis is worsening, with the UN is warning famine in the country. Officials and aid workers in Somali drought-stricken south say the area is expected many deaths from famine if aid is not quickly scaled up and responded to the current drought crisis. Somali southwest state is on the places the United Nations expected famine to rise as the prolonged and worst drought in 40 decades continue to devastate the country. State Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management Minister Nasser Aroush told the VOA in an interview after he visited hard-hit areas including Wajid Bakol region that the situation area is so desperate. You know, we have been dealing with drought for the last 3 years, but the situation is getting really worse, really bad, said the UN aid chief Martin Griffiths, who visited last month to Baidoa, where he met the locally displaced persons IDPs at the makeshift camps. He said the urgent situation needs urgent response. Dr. Saeed Yusuf Mohammed, who works as the stabilization center, a unit inside the biggest hospital in southwest state, told the media that the drought is having a devastating toll on the children. He said that every day a child is dying at the stabilization center due to the malnutrition. He said you can see that the number of patients who need treatment for their malnutrition is increasing. There are times when the hospital reaches beyond its capacity, and now it is possible to admit over 90 patients a week and sometimes more than 20 a day. Madej Mumin is a 60-year-old father of 9 children. He arrived at the hospital with his malnourished granddaughter. He said they received $8 loan from a family member to reach the hospital that is located of 100 kilometers from the settlement in Pai region. Somali government last year declared the drought is a national emergency and called for urgent assistance from the UN and international aid agencies. That's all for our today's English news live from Mogadishu. With me, I am Omar and the entire team of the program will leave you. Bye for now.